what's going on, NGT community? It's Guns for Hire, and welcome to another episode of Ask the 8-Ball. Yes, this is a weekly question and answer type video series where you post your questions in the comments, and then the questions that have the most sort of thumbs up are the ones that I answer. Now, obviously, I can't answer every single one of them, or it would take forever. So I try and answer the ones that are the most popular and move on from there. The first question, we'll get to it right now, is what's my game collection? Well, most of my games are actually upstairs, and one of my sons is playing right now, and I didn't want to bring them all down. Predominantly, in all honesty, I keep all my games, the ones that I play, in here. So you got Call of Duty 4, which is just hopeful. You got your hardened Black Ops for PS3, Black Ops for Xbox, Modern Warfare 2 hardened for PS3, and unopened, I don't know if you can hear that, I don't know if you can hear the plastic, but an unopened Bloodstone 007. I did plan on doing like a playthrough of it, but I didn't get around to it, so, you know, and I keep my Xbox headset in there, but generally, I mean, the games that you see us putting out are the games that the ones that I have readily available. I mean, I have a lot of Ratchet & Clank, I have Little Big Planet, all the Uncharted games, of course, but actually, I think 2 of my Uncharted games, both of them are over at Spiderbite's house, because he was going to play them, although I got to get the Uncharted 2 back. I want my Uncharted 2 back, Spider, because Melee's my wife, Pam, she wants to play it, because she loved the first one, so she wants to play the second one. Anyway, I'd love to have a huge collection of games, and I would honestly, if I wasn't doing this all the time and producing videos for all of you, I would probably play a ton of different games all day long. I would absolutely love it. Unfortunately, I don't have time, so I generally only have a very select few games, but I will be having Bulletstorm very soon, and Killzone 3, of course. Oh yeah. Some of you have been asking, why don't we see Spiderbite in an IRL? Well, or in real life, basically. Well, you can. I mean, he's on the live stream every single week, several times, and he's going to be on tonight as well. And he always shows his face there. And if you look up, I forget what the series was. It was exercises for gamers or something like that. And you'll see Spiderbite right there. So, I mean, you just got to look for it. But look up exercise routines or exercise for gamers or something like that on our main channel, and you'll see a picture of him. Or you can just watch the live stream, which is happening tonight, I think at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. You can see his mug right there. Here's an easy one. Do you care about who's #1 on your video? No. My favorite game of all time. That one is actually very easy, and it's not on the Xbox, and it's not on the PlayStation, and it's not on a PC or Nintendo. It is Shining Force for the Genesis. That game, honestly, if they ported that game onto PS3, Wii, any of the major systems right now, I would absolutely 100% play that game, and I wouldn't be able to show you really anything, or maybe I could, because it's kind of, there's actually a lot of strategy, there was a lot of strategy involved, but it was the absolute best game. I played that game so much. If I'm going to pull an all-nighter, it would have been with that game there. So Shining Force definitely is my absolute favorite game of all time. Still is. And it's not anything to do with the graphics, or it was not a first person. I think it was is it considered an RPG? Role-playing game? Something like that. Anyway, best game ever, at least in my opinion anyway. And I know a lot of people, if you play Genesis and you played Shining Force, I guarantee you it's either in your top or is your favorite game as well, because it was just kick-ass. Biggest regret of my life? Well, typically, in all honesty, I don't have a lot of regrets. I mean, you make mistakes in life, you make your choices at the time when they seem right, and you live with them, and that's the way it is. But if I was to have a big regret, because the reason why I say that is because life has always seems to turn out better for me later on. There may be rough periods based on the decisions that I make, but in the end, everything seems to work out. So, if anything, my biggest regret would be leaving the military. I absolutely loved my time there. I love the people, the friends that I made there. I loved working on engines, jet engines. I loved working on the aircraft. It was awesome. It was just an awesome experience. I really, really do. And if any of my kids, my boys, end up joining the military, I'd be very proud of them and support them wholeheartedly. But you know what I mean? I left, life went on, and I ended up with a beautiful family and an amazing job. So it's hard to regret, right? You know what I mean? Whatever. That's it. All right. Do I let my children play Call of Duty or other M-rated games? The answer is no. We do adhere to those ratings. My wife and I do our absolute best to never even use profanity in front of our children at all. I mean, they're going to eventually learn the words, but there's no point in us pushing this out. They're saying F this and F that. I want my kids to be respectful, and I want my kids to, you know, grow up knowing, you know, they're always, I mean, I use profanity as well, but there's a time and a place for it, and it's not in everyday conversation where you're just talking to people. I mean, the way I was raised was, if you can't use the proper words, and it shows a lack of intelligence if you have to constantly use profanity. So, and I know some of you are like, what? F that, you don't even effing know what you're talking about, but whatever. That's the way I was raised. Listen, and I swear all the time too, but not in front of my kids. And it's the same thing with video games. We do not let them play violent video, like, well, there's a lot of violent video games. It's kind of, I guess, on your perspective, but we do not let them play. If it's M-rated, they don't get to play it. Absolutely not. The content in there is way too beyond. As far as letting my son, I mean, my oldest is 8. Probably, I would say probably when he's 12. I think that the limit on, you know, whether it's 18 or whatever, certain games that are even rated M, I mean, at the age of 12, he's going to be exposed to enough in real life and enough stuff that I'm not fully aware of, where he's going to, you know, I mean, when you were 12, when I was 12, I was aware of a lot of stuff. Not everything, though. But a lot of stuff. That a video game is a video game, but we don't want to expose them to that sort of stuff until he's kind of a little bit more mature. And I think 12, 13 is probably a good age for that, but not anytime sooner than that. None of the kids will be playing those types of games. How long do I see myself doing NGT, doing this, running NextGenTactics? As some of you may know, hopefully you all know, if you're actually subscribers to NextGenTactics, Spiderbite and myself co-own NextGenTactics. We both own it. It's our channel. It's our baby. And it's taken us a long time and a lot of work to get to where we are. And I don't think neither of us are really discussing anything about, you know, when we're leaving or how long we're going to do it. We love what we do. We'll keep doing it. But there's obviously got to be a transition period. I mean, I can't do this when I'm 65 years old in front of you and be like, I remember when I was playing that game, it was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. So who knows when it's going to come? Maybe there has to be a transition period. Maybe the the younger directors will more or less will coach them and they'll take over for production. But we'll always probably be here doing IRLs and stuff like that, staying in contact. But we don't have a time horizon for NextGenTactics. We'll just keep doing it until we're pushing up daisies. You know what I mean? Or until, well, I was gonna say until I'm not presentable on camera, but that's debatable right now, isn't it? And the last question that lots of you have asked, and we constantly get this, so I'll try and answer it as diplomatically as possible. But why did we leave Machinima? Some of you may or may not know, we were part of Machinima way back when, more than a year, maybe a year and a half ago. Actually, we were on Machinima Respawn, I should say. Machinima Respawn, we were one of the original directors on there before, before it was anywhere, before anyone knew anything about it. Like, I mean, it was under 100,000 or whatever when we officially did our first videos on there. I mean, we had already been in discussion before they had launched, but we finally got everything in order and we're on there. The only thing I can say is, we were grateful for it. Believe me, when it happened, it was the best thing that happened to us. We were like, wow, because we were one of the first ones to be offered, like, just a little channel under 10,000 subs or whatever, offered an opportunity to do that. I mean, and this is a lot of work. So we were like, wow, that's awesome. That's really good. And then we stayed with them and we just continued to plug along. We did our thing. We continued to do our thing. But what had happened was an opportunity came by for the game station. And the bottom line is what they offered us at that time outweighed what Machinima was offering us. They offered us a way to, more or less become partners with them but without having to send all of our content over to Machinima to be played there, and basically allowed us to just work and concentrate on our own home, our channel. And that for us was like the best thing. We're like, okay, so we just have to continue doing what we do. We don't have to slap on special pre and post rolls or anything like that. And basically to date, our growth has been crazy high since we've joined TGS. So we don't regret it at all. It's been an amazing partnership. We absolutely love it. And that's the way it happened. And lots of people are still with Machinima. Machinima is still growing. But we decided to go with the game station, and we're very happy with our choice. That's it. That's about all I can say, really. It's all about NGT, baby. Well, that's it for the 8-Ball this week. If you want to ask something, I know there's a lot of questions, again, that aren't answered. I try and get to them as soon as possible. Remember, if you want to ask something, you got to be friends with NGT. So send a friend request. Give us an hour or, a few hours sometimes, depending on how busy we are. We keep checking them. We approve them. It's the only way, because if you post a question in the comments below before you're approved as a friend, it will not show up. It's pending approval, and I don't always have time to go through and approve them all. So make sure you send a friend request first if you haven't done so already. Give us like an hour or a few hours to, because we do periodically check it, and then post your question. Remember, if you see a question that you want answered as well, give it a thumbs up, because what I do is I scan through all the comments and I look for the ones with the most thumbs up. Those are the questions that I'm going to actually answer. So again, if I didn't answer the question, there were some ones with the big thumbs up, but again, I don't want to make it like 30 minutes long. So just repost it, and we'll keep this going, and I'll answer some more questions next Friday. That's it for the 8-Ball. I'm Guns for Hire. Thanks for being part of NGT community. We greatly appreciate it. You guys are the best. Peace. Hey guys, we're on Netflix. Okay, well, we're not on Netflix, but we are officially sponsored by them now. Thousands of movies and TV shows available every day at the click of a button. For a free 1-month trial membership, simply click on the link in the description, courtesy of NextGenTactics. Yeah, you're welcome.